Tonight, the ground battle on the streets of Gaza, with Israel declaring a new stage of war against Hamas. Already, more than 8,000 Palestinians have been killed since the airstrikes began, half of those children.
The heaviest aerial bombardment to date. Israelis say they're making the ground in Gaza shake.
To the residents of northern Gaza, your window to act is closing. Move south.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning of a long and difficult war ahead as he confirmed Israeli troops are inside Gaza.
We will continue to be strong and precise and hunt down every terrorist.
Their goal, to crush Hamas and recover the 229 hostages they hold.
They are conflicting goals because moving to destroy Hamas will certainly put those hostages at risk.
Netanyahu meeting the hostages' families for the first time, many desperate for the ground invasion to stop.
Are you worried about our dearest, that nobody will be injured?
And in Australia, thousands again taking to the streets of Sydney and Melbourne today. The third week in a row for the pro-Palestinian rallies.
Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry!
While inside Gaza, phone lines and internet are gradually returning after a near total communication blackout since Friday. Aid too slowly expected to resume after being halted on Saturday. But for the long-suffering people of Gaza, this new stage of the war is promising even more misery.
People are scared, they're afraid basically Israel's gonna kill everyone in Gaza.
Mansour Shouman is a Gazan resident trapped in the south. Mansour, Gaza's experienced its worst bombardment yet. What have the last couple of days been like for you?
Thank you for having me on the show. It's now the 22nd, 23rd day since the genocide here on the Gaza Strip has started. Over 2.3 million people are trying to stay alive in this open cage prison. For the last 24 to 48 hours, Israel not only have they cut off our electricity, water, fuel, borders, they also tried to cut communication with the outside world. So for around 20 hours, no one could make any phone calls, no one could reach out or in via internet, anyone, through any sort of communication. And it disrupted especially the rescue efforts for the ambulances and rescue centers here, who were not able to reach out to the people who were under the rubble after bombings that happened. We're happy to see that some of that network connection is back in some areas. However, phone calls are still banned and not allowed.
Mansour, what is everyday life like for you right now?
So let me give you a few examples. To get some bread, you need to stand in a lineup for 5 to 6 hours. There is, I think, no such thing right now as clean water in Gaza. So many people are have very high degrees of malnutrition. Many people are going through thirst during the day, and families like mine who are living with their extended family, 8 or 10 families in one apartment.
Mansour, you've been in Gaza for a year and you have a Canadian passport. Are you able to get out of the Strip?
As far as I know, no one is able to get out of the Strip, Canadian or not.
Would you want to leave if you could?
Personally, I won't leave. I believe that I have to help the people here in the struggles that they're going through. But it's very important to note, all lives matter. Whoever wants to come into Gaza or leave should be allowed freely. We have thousands of injured who need serious operations, which need to leave the Gaza Strip and have them operated on. We have hundreds of trucks and people wanting to come in, report the news, distribute the aid, help. These people should be allowed to freely come in.
Israel's Prime Minister says a long and difficult war is coming. How does it make you feel when you hear that?
My experience with the Israeli government and media is that they are full of deception and lies. So I cannot really take what they say very seriously. They told us, go to the south, you'll be safe. Well, we were bombed in the south. This is one example.
Mansour, we really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. We can't even begin to imagine how difficult things are.
Thank you for having me.